Mm, Hello, hello, welcome back, welcome anew. I hope you all very much had a very nice day, very nice time. And yeah, okay, let me check. Let me. Ow, why is my leg hurting so much? Let me check audio, right? Give me a second. All right, sorry for the delay. Uh, as I said, you know, didn't have time to set up the stream stuffs, tablet and such. And I wanted to just arrive for a second, because I literally just came back to be able to then stream, right? So, I just wanted to take a bit of time, see if that helps to just focus a bit more, focus more and hopefully achieve more. We will figure out if we achieved more or not. Anyway, kind of couldn't get this thing out of my head from 28 years later. The movie I watched yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Almost forgot. Right, yesterday. Like the Memento Mori thing. I mean, and I know it's not, their invention or anything, but that's the first time I really sort of understood the message. Sorry, English. It's the first time I really just understood it, So, like, where I've truly, what do you say, internalized it, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. I think. Pretty sure. Pretty certain. Memento Mori. Was ist ein Memento Mori? Okay. Well, anyway. Just a little bit of German here, right? Anyway, let me just move this here. And I'm kind of like, I'm trying to make it more of an active decision what to do, as in terms of like my free time, I want to less act like a drone, more like a human being, if that's possible, not just do all the same things every time without questioning them, and perhaps encourage myself to do all the things or some of the things that I didn't have the courage to do, because, well, memento mori. Know that you too will die, right? Never forget. Anyway, ooh, I think I'm good to go. I mean, yeah, we'll see how long we'll go for this time. I'll try not to, take any shortcuts here. I'll try to properly, like, how should I say this? Try to improve, I guess. Like, I'm always like doubting myself here when I'm just doing 2 hours of this type of streaming, right? I'm like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough, or am I just still, doing more talking than doing? Like, sometimes I have to question myself if I'm not trying to trick my own self into, being complacent again. I don't want to be that, I'm trying to change it, but turns out it's not as easy as you would imagine. Like I've always had that thought, oh well, I don't understand why people don't have control of their will, you know? Like especially in the sense of like um mental illness and stuff. Always was like, I don't understand. And I think there is value in that too, because, how do you truly tell if someone's not okay in the head and not just trying to, I don't know, scam you or something, right? Like there is value in doubting, but I was always like, I don't understand. Don't hit me with like miss me with that shit, essentially. And I'm like that opinion necessarily hasn't changed. It's more nuanced, I would say maybe. So instead of being that hardline about it, it's like, okay, there is some truth and value in recognizing that the flawed humans that we are aren't always in control, or perhaps we are less in control than we would like to believe when it comes to our own will. But all that said, I think there is a line, you know, very clear line. Like if we apply this to like say someone doing a crime, right? And then all the usual suspects come out being like, oh, he has mental illness, or she has mental illness, mentally ill, mentally ill. You can't punish them properly because they are mentally ill. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but if your mental illness has reached a point where you start, say, attacking people, I don't think that you get to demand we, you know, care about your mental illness enough. Like you clearly didn't care enough about it to do something before you reach that point, because there has to have been, some point in time where you weren't always like that. And if you were, perhaps you'd make a good, like, I don't know, test subject for doctors. I don't know, maybe you're like very special kind and you have some sort of brain worm or like, I don't know, some genetic defect. But still, you have to work on yourself. No one else can do that for you. I don't know. This is a bit difficult. Like, I've never drawn or like tried to shade any sort of clothing. And this is certainly a starting point. Like, I have to start at some point, right? Why not right now? Anyway, after all, I think I'm going to say that so many times today. Memento mori. I feel so cool. Guys, I can talk like a Latin. Am I not cool? I can talk in Latin. I have this one phrase. It's like a child with a, I don't know, some sort of snack or sweets. As mine, I'm gonna keep all of that. You know? Well, anyway. Hey. Sorry. I'm a bit tired. It's been not the greatest of Mondays, I have to say. I've had better. Way better. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Ouch. Just have to look why my leg is hurting so much. Maybe my muscles are just sore. I don't know. Hmm. Ouch. Why is it hurting so much? Like, what the hell? Ow, 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 ow. I just want to stand. Come on. Anyway, I've been like watching another video of uh Davi or whatever, Art of Davi, however you say his name, Davi, I don't know. Anything. However you pronounce this. Enunciate. Enunciate. Anyway, and it was about textured brushes, you know? And I found that particularly interesting because I've been basically drawing without any sort of texture. At least you wouldn't notice, you know? Because I think what he meant specifically was more something like maybe not this, because it's more like a stamp kind of brush, but like, let's see if there are any useful ones. Something like this, maybe? I don't know, I'd have to try it to see if that makes sense. But holy shit, I have to say, like, the sheer collection of just brushes he has. I don't know what program he uses because I didn't really look into it. I would say Clip Studio, maybe, or perhaps Photoshop. Just the amount of brushes on his, like, I would say right click or hotkey is insane. Like, actually insane. How do you keep all of that in mind and use it in your drawings? Like, I'm not sure. Is this a textured brush? I would assume so, yes? Like, technically, it uses a texture. But I don't know. Maybe I should just try and paint larger? I don't know. We'll try this for today. Let me just assign it to my favorites so I don't lose this brush. What is this even actually? Textured tilt. Okay, well, there you have the answer. I guess this is a texture brush. Okay, so this is the texture that we're currently running, huh? I wonder what else there is. Okay. Maybe this. Kind of, but it's too open. This is like a big. Ooh, wait, this might actually be. This might not be too bad actually. This is like a massive, like, round brush essentially. Well, square brush in this case, I guess. And the fact that it can tilt, although it's a bit weird the way it, recognizes tilt. But that's just, like, honestly, I just have to switch whether or not I hold the pen, say, while it's leaning forward. How should I explain this? First, let me go back to the texture we had earlier. I think it was this. It was this. It was this is. So, imagine a hand somewhere here, I think. Right. So if this is like my hand, right? And this is like my index and middle fingers. Something along those lines, I would say. Although this part is a bit weird here. Why did I... Anyway, let me see if I can put the thumb in here. Hmm. This is the most horrid hand I've ever drawn. And I've drawn some things that barely look like a hand. Well, this included, I suppose. How to represent this? Say this is roughly, right? My hand, or maybe like a symbolic representation of a hand, more than anything, I would say. And so, let me see if I can make this work. Oh, maybe there we go. Maybe not. Oh, this is hard. Heresy. This is horrible. Anyway, why am I doing this? This is so weird. Why am I focusing on it? I mean, you know what? I kind of feel like when I'm talking and I'm trying to demonstrate something and I'm just yapping away, trying to explain what it is that I'm drawing, I kind of feel like I'm drawing slightly better. Well, this is not necessarily the best example of that happening, but I would say it's usually the case. At least I felt that way. What is it, like the day before yesterday? I think, right? That's when we had the mini course in the beginning of the stream. Right? So wait, this is actually looking very wrong. Let's see. Can I make this work? I don't know. I'm like forgetting the overlaps. I'm forgetting the bends. Because I'm like a bit agitated. Because my back is hurting, I think. So I'm not giving it my best right now. But at least I'm kind of like aware of it. Like, I don't know, maybe that's not worth much. This is so horrible, it's barely going to show anything. I can't. Not right now. My legs hurting, back's hurting, head's hurting, legs hurting, back's hurting. Yes, legs, heads, backs. Or heads, backs, legs. That kind of sounds funnier. Anyway, let me drink something here. Can't say I've done anything of particular note today. So I might not have as much yapping material as I usually have, but there were still some things like I don't know, what did I do? I think I read, was it today? Yes, it was today. I read a manga, not too much of it, and one I already own, one I've already read. So I basically reread some parts of that, the first volume essentially. Ouch! Ow! Leg is hurting so much I can't even talk normally. I don't know why. Why is it hurting all of a sudden? I just Am I exaggerating this to like, I don't know, get some laughs? I'm not sure. Maybe I am. I hope not. Like, I can kind of ignore the pain, but only for so long, you know. Then it's like, hey, by the way, I'm still here. Then it hurts so much that I just can't think straight. But when I talk about it and I'm mad about it, I sometimes feel like I'm, how should I say, I'm expelling all the distractions and bad thoughts in a way, you know, um, emerging from the pain, you know. It's like a little ritual here. Little ritual to talking about the pain is helping the pain soothe. I wonder if that's like a physiological phenomenon for other people too. Would be weird, but funny in a way. In a way, way, in a way, would be funny. In a way. Hmm. 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 I wonder so. What? I wonder what? I wonder how some other artists just do this. And while I've watched quite a few, how should I say, speed paints and such, because I heard, watching speed paints can, to some extent, so it's not the, alpha or omega, but like watching speed paints can be useful just to get an idea of how someone who's more knowledgeable than does art. And while I've watched quite a few, I'm still like a little bit on the fence. I think I've talked about that yesterday as well, because I'm not following enough of the, say, practice here. I'm not doing enough, I think, in terms of um, how to say this. I think I'm not doing enough in terms of the training I could be doing, like drawing gesture by reference, right? Or any architecture, whatever else I might be interested in by reference, right? And I'm not really using the reference as a guide, more like I'm trying to copy what I see. And I don't know, and I think I've said that like 15 times by this point, at what point when am I just copying to get better at copying? And when am I like actually learning how to make use of the principles I see here? And while being aware of all the things I've talked about the day before yesterday, while keeping all that in mind, how you bend your lines, where's the form going, how would it look when it's getting closer to the camera? So, in other words, when it's getting closer to me, the viewer, or when it's going further away, right? How does it look when it's overlapping? That kind of stuff. Maybe thinking about some shadows at some point and all that stuff. Keeping that in mind is certainly helpful. And I think I've done myself a great deed by ordering those thoughts and writing them down. But I'll have to actually make practical use of them. And I feel like I'm not doing that when I'm just like drawing from imagination. Like say, oh, I just wanna draw like, I don't know, like something. Like just maybe a person or maybe not a person, or like I don't know what this pose is even supposed to be. Like I just draw something. I just want to draw, right? And then I just scribble stuff down, and it's just I don't know. Am I learning how to draw at that point? Am I just deluding myself? Anyway, I have to go to a meeting really quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about it. Um, Give me a moment. and I'll see you in a bit. Damn. Okay. Sorry, guys. The meeting was blown up. Like, yep, it's over. Meeting is over. I blew it up. That was a case of explosive diarrhea. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about earlier. I think the same things I always talk about, right? Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I should come up with something original, huh? Something original. Well, I'm trying. I think. I hope. We'll see. Actually, let me draw these very round, very marble shaped. Um, what was the meme or the video like Mesa Mosaic, Mesa whatever, Era Survivor, like the new way to say boomer essentially. Bunch of different like pun guy like like uh not citizen but like resident essentially. Anyway, this fine gentleman over here. We'll draw the fine gentleman and we'll see how well I can do something like that's obviously off proportion. How do I capture that? How will I capture that? I don't know. I just do know that I'm not using my shoulder here and I'm not standing correctly. Because, yeah. Let me get some drawing glove. Sorry. I'm a bit weird today. There we go. Let's see. Meow. Ouch. Back is hurt. Legs, please stand like a normal human being. Thank you very much. Okay, how do we draw the fine gentleman? I wonder if this is like a British man. Although the facades, maybe this is an Italian man actually. Would fit the atmosphere, the look. I think the phenotype of the dude too, the man of the gentleman. Like, I would say, no? Now that I have a second look, this kind of looks more like maybe Italy. T something. Uniga Sede. Unier Sede? I don't know. T Ru Ru Ru. Okay, I can't really see anything in there. Although the weather doesn't look exactly clear. But I don't know enough about architecture to be able to tell you what this looks like. OYA. At least I'm pretty sure this is somewhere in Europe. Just because of this type of like street sign. I think that's like a like soft norm thing. Like a soft like guideline or policy. Not sure too much. Maybe it is law. Not too certain about it. So maybe to construct this gentleman, we'll simply just use circles today. The question is to what extent? Because obviously we want to capture case holes. I mean, this guy's nice roundness, right? I guess you can't really capture that in the case of queso because it's like more like a black hole, you know? super massive and all that. I don't know what Queso did. anyway, anyway, that's what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Let me see what we can do here. What we can work with. Here's this nice little chin going on here, and this nice smile. The big schnauzer. You know. Well, I'm changing the angle of the face slightly, I think. Why do I make him look like a Chinese dude or like some sort of, I don't know, like a Japanese sumo wrestler? Why? Oh, why? Oh, actually, let's get these. Let's get it a bit further up, maybe. Yes, I think that works fine. Anyway, he has a nice, very nice head. Very nice hairstyle is what I wanted to say. Sorry. I didn't remember the word. It escaped me. Hmm. Very fine people. Ouch. Ow. Oh, okay, something is wrong with my leg. Oh, what the hell? I didn't even do anything like too physically straining today. Oi. Oh, that was like a, how should I say this? Like a lightning bolt rushing through my leg. I don't know why. What the hell? Ouch. How's this possible? What's impossible? Impossible. Lord, sometimes you test me in ways. I think that I is better off being slightly smaller. Yes. Yes. Hmm. Is this right? I don't know. Let's do some more construction here. At least attempt to. I don't know how well it will work out. Actually, kind of want to give this man a slightly more exaggerated belly. Rub my belly. Fucking GG, like all of the TikTok brain rot is getting to me, I think. Guys, I'm sorry. I have failed you and myself. Future generations will speak of this failure. Okay, so this is... I should have laid down the foundation first. I noticed that is something I failed to do recently. When I do everything else right, in terms of like keeping certain things in mind, as I said before, you know, how does your line bend? What is the shape supposed to be like traveling to? Like, where is it traveling to, the shape, right? Is it closer or further away? Is it overlapping with any stuff? What are the shadows like? You know, all the stuff we talked about. All the stuff we talked about. And then I just, whenever I keep all of that in mind, I just stop doing the most fundamental thing, which is grounding the figure before drawing it. And while you can get away with that if you have enough space, time, and I mean, maybe it's not grit, but like, yes, you can basically cheat your way through constructing a figure any which way, you know, all day, every day, essentially. But and that's obvious, the most important question, right? Whether or not it's going to be helping is a different thing entirely. All right. Oh, I can't stand really. Ow. The nose is a bit weird because it's wait, I just saw that. The hell is this nose? Yeah, something more like this, please. Thank you. What the hell? Maybe a little bit less eyebrow here. Some more eyebrow here. And just like this smidge over there. Oh, okay, let me sit down and see if that helps. I don't think it will, but a man can hope. If nothing else, a man can hope. Okay, no. I can't even sit. Ouch. I can't. What's happening today? Man. I was like debating because there's a bit more going on I don't want to share. Um, essentially, you know. I was like debating if I should take a break today because, well, that might be for the best, but I kind of feel like I'm gonna be forced to do that actually because I can't sit and I can barely stand. It's like my right leg is giving out. It's like hurting in a place where it usually doesn't hurt, you know? Like knee pain is one thing if you sit around all day, you know? You sit in a chair, then you move, sit in another chair, you know, that kind of deal. I understand having knee pain in that scenario, you know? But this kind of pain, not even being anywhere near the knee, is kind of, it's new and weird. And it feels like I'm not able to stand upright. Because if I try, it immediately starts hurting like hell. So I might have to stop a lot earlier today. I still wanted to, you know, honor the commitment in a sense. I wanted to honor the commitment and respect my own wishes to get better at drawing, right? So I still started today. Because, like, if we are honest, you know, streaming and drawing, although perhaps I would disagree on drawing, but like, at least streaming isn't difficult, like, at all. Especially not in this, like, the quality that I'm putting forth, right? Like, always the same thumbnail, always the same description, barely any background music, no, like, be right back or, I don't know, starting soon screens, nothing like the showman type of deal that Dr. Disrespect is doing, or some of the other very nice, very successful streamers, right? None of that. So I can't really, honestly, it's not difficult. And it's not because I'm exhausted from streaming. Because, like, if you, right, and I don't, how should I say this? Don't, let me rephrase it. Like, if you can go, I don't know. That's at least always what I think. Like, if you can go to work for 8 hours a day, every day, any artist should be able to put in at least 2 hours every day as well. You know, it's like, I think that's the kind of bare minimum, like really bare minimum. So, is that kind of word? No, and maybe more like no. I'm too close to the image. I should get the body constructed before anything else, but I already kind of lost that case in a sense. This man is so round. He encircles like he encircles the entire world. Is that okay? No, I'm sorry. Chuck is gone. You know, so the memes don't work that well anymore. The man is so large. He's gotten a letter from NASA asking for rights of exploration and mining because his surface area is just that big, you know, mistaken for a planetoid celestial body. That was kind of bad. I would have to put more enthusiasm into it, and a bit more like, Anyway, as you can tell, I'm not a comedian. The only thing I can do is laugh at myself. You know? Really, that's the only thing I can do. Hmm. This is looking funny, I have to say. Hmm. Maybe the yeah, oh yeah, okay. Okay. Now I see what the issue is. I kind of like missed that. Obvious once you realize it. 2020 hindsight is truly working. 2020 hindsight. Something more like this. Maybe also smaller. I would say something like this and maybe turn it a little bit. Somewhere here. Let's see. Could work. Should work. I think it does. At least it seems somewhat better than before. We'll figure out if that is true or not in due time. Is that the right way of saying it? I think so. Hmm. I think I kind of feel like this is the best I'll manage today, but I don't I don't want to give up just yet. So I'll I'll try walking around a bit. Maybe I can literally walk it off because this pain is insane. The only other thing I could do is take medicine, which I'm really hesitant to do because we'll see. I'll be right back. I'll try not to you know wander about for too long, like maybe 5 minutes at best. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Trying to. I'll be right back with you. Okay. All right, I have returned successfully. Two delays, like one delay, two breaks in such a short time. It's kind of like it's killing me. Now let's stick to constructing first here. I feel like I'm missing that. Kind of like breathing a bit heavier right now because I was like, walking around a bit and then lying on the floor because that usually helps enormously, enormously, enormously. Like this fine gentleman here when I have back pain and such. So I figured, well, why not try. Worst case, you just lie down on the floor. It's like nothing gained, nothing lost, or nothing lost, nothing gained. I guess in that context it would be incorrect, but I don't know why I find it so difficult to draw this guy. This small, huh? Damn. Should I try? I could, right? Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't be able to do the lines as thin as I would like them to be, but this is still way too big, so it is truly too large. One number 9. No, two number 9s. I don't remember. Man, I don't remember. I don't remember memory. Um. What's happening here? What was it? San Andreas? Um. Wait. Big Smoke's order. Right. Number 9, Fat Boy. No. Wait, what? Drive through Big Smoke. Well, there we go. Right. I have two number nines, a number nine large, a number six with extra dip, a number seven, two number 45s, one with cheese, and a large soda. Damn. I could never remember that line, although although I will have although I would have it in the back of my mind, sometimes when it would fit the context. I just can't really remember it because I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I usually treat entertainment exactly and only just as that, you know, an escape from reality, really. Like a little story that I'm being told, perhaps you could say. You know, I like to experience, say, the world through the eyes of an author or a specific type of world. You know, in my case, I would say like um, post-apocalyptic is a very big thing for me. Sci-fi, or rather, sci-fi post-apocalypse. I also like zombie movies and media in general. Although, as you know, there's a whole lot of good stuff out there. And I can't really say I'm like an ardent fan anyway, because it's like I'm missing the enthusiasm, I think, to truly immerse myself into like a story or a world to the point where I would say it is the greatest piece of media ever made, and if you disagree, I'll fight you in the street. The type of like enthusiasm and to some extent perhaps delusion some fans have. Like I don't think I have what it takes to be a fan of anything. Although actually maybe that's not completely true either. Because I do feel like, yes, for the longest time, um, what's it called? I had a favorite like video game in general, and although it's like a very specific genre, I don't know how to speak. You know, theme, I guess, atmosphere, whatever. That thing. But then they made some drastic changes to it, and I had to give it up. So I can't really say I'm not, or I wasn't really ever a fan of anything. I was, but after that whole ordeal, I pretty much like stopped trying. And although I've been watching a lot of like Hololive, right, over the years, I'm not too sure if I would call myself a fan. It's not like I hate any of them at all. I like them. I enjoy their company for what it is. I don't know. Does it make me a fan, an anti-fan, or like well-adjusted human being? I don't know. You with it? What the fuck? You with the help, 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 help! I can't draw a straight line. Oh man. Okay, I guess this is where the issue with neglecting accuracy comes in. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. I can't concentrate. I wish I could do more. But the leg pain is back. The back pain too. He's holding something in his hand, no? Something like maybe his keys? Or like, because he's like near something I would classify as a sort of restaurant, perhaps? Because of the canopies, is that right? Like these things up here, right? This stuff in the background. The beige things. The beige. Instead of the baby, it's the beige. Hmm. 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 I can't draw hands anymore. Man, like what did we like write down? I think something like trying to find this line, then figure out where the knuckles are, how they bend and such, or rather in which way they're looking, I think. And then try to work in planes in terms of the fingers and keep the forms simple. But I kind of can't put that into practice right now. Fuck. Sometimes I hate myself for feeling pain because I'm like, oh, so you're gonna whine again? But it's like genuine pain that I have to consider taking like medication for. It's like, okay, what do I do? Just suffer quietly and I don't know, not get anything done, or not get anything done, and try and like play this up a little bit for like a comedic effect. It's like, what am I gonna do? And I don't just mean this like in terms of like streaming. Like when you have pain, genuine pain, right? When you're sick, what do you want to do? Do you want to drag everyone else down by just quietly suffering, which you think they don't notice? And then they just come to you and are like, well, I think you are like about to keel over and die. Can I do something? Then you just sit there shocked and wonder, "Oh, how did you figure that one out? I was so quiet, I didn't say nothing." Or would you like acknowledge that in front of them and try to ease their nerves, right? Through being, funny about it, you know, making it a bit less serious. Because what can you do? If it's pain that's chronic or stuff that just randomly turns like up and just feels like a truck is driving over you, like what do you want to do? Take a medication for everything? I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to be alive, and that sort of is to facilitate that. It's sort of like important that your mind isn't like completely destroyed from all the meds you're taking. So like again, what am I to do? So I decided if I have pain, I accept it, and I, you know, essentially try to joke about it because like it's the best way I've found. While it's not the solution for everyone, it's a solution for me. I don't know why I said that now. I don't know. Cause I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just have this like weird thing. I start watching someone stream or something or a video, and some of the patterns of like behavior just agitate me so much that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And they just leave. I don't know. I suppose I just wanted to justify myself, but to whom, for what reason? If you don't like it, like the modern game devs, right? If you don't like it, don't buy it. I guess I just kind of want to show that I'm not like inventing this type of stuff to distract from my otherwise very boring personality, because I can tell you it is boring either way, whether or not I try to distract you from it or not. Because I'm like, I'm not too much into all the drama, and it's not. Although it's not like I can dodge all of it, but I at least try to keep it simple, easy to understand whenever there's issues, right? As any other person would, with any amount of like sense. But anyway, I don't know why I'm yapping about such random things today. I just wanna, I kind of want to get my mind off of the pain, and by getting it off the pain disappears. But that has to happen and work yet. So maybe I'll have to change my approach because I don't want to be insane. Do you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing something over and over and over and over again, expecting shit to change. So, we'll see. Keep an eye out. We'll check if there's anything we can do. Some introspection never hurts, but it can be taken too far, right? If you're doubting everything you're doing, why make a decision at all? It's the point of the decision, to accept the possible consequences, good or bad, that result from making it. That's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. You know? And while they not all have the same like sort of value, right? They aren't same mistakes, and the severity isn't similar necessarily. But like, you know, whatever. Trying. I'm really trying. I'm really, really trying. At least I can sit down a little bit now. Sit down. I always kind of want to talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's kind of funny, his name. Like if you were to translate it word for word, let me think before I say something wrong here, because there are a bunch of German words I obviously don't know because they are old. So maybe okay. I think I won't find anything to that extent. No. No, I won't find anything to that. Because, like, his name is similar, but I can't. So don't take it too as a fact, right? But in German, it would be like, if you translate it, it would mean like black and then Negro, I think. Because it's not the direct translation for what's the English word? Nigger, I think, right? Right? ER or A? Not too sure. ER or A. Anyway, it's not that, but it's like double G, which kind of makes no sense. So I kind of thought maybe that means something entirely different, because there's some words in German that, you know, it's, well, it's a natural language, so sometimes the words are pretty funny in how they like work. How should I say this? In how they convey meaning. But I guess that's the same for every, natural language. You know, same word can mean different things in different contexts and such and so on. So, you know, why did I bring this up? I don't know. Huh? Anyway, that's what I did. Fucking hell. Excuse my French. Anyway. Hmm. I don't know what I'm doing here. Can't concentrate, I cannot. But let's try at least putting some sheen and finish on this. So I can like go away thinking at least I did something. like, I kind of don't want to get into that mindset, but I can't help it today. I don't think like this pain is insane. But like I've had this mindset, for a while now. For when it came to like traditional drawing, where I would just draw on paper, right? Actually, this would have to be more like so, no? So we want the collar, no, the what do you call this area of a like shirt? What do you call that? Hmm. Hmm. Is that right? I'm kind of like tracing now, which is I don't know, not perhaps literally, but I just mean like copying by eye, right? Roughly. Although, is it that much different? I don't think. I guess it could help you train your hand-eye coordination a bit better, but how much that does for you is a question for a different time. But actually, let me do it like this. Hmm. I don't know. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ow. I'm trying. Ah. Ah. Although I think I'm more like, again, getting lost in the detail, but that's what I'm gonna do today. Hmm. Hmm. I wonder if Queso has ever worn a suit recently. I mean, 'cause I'm not like follow him too closely or anything. Just occasional, clip or whatever. Because yeah, it be how it is. It be how it ought. Oh, okay. I can see what I did wrong here. Like the. Yeah. I can see it now. It's not as clean as I would want it to be, but it is what it is, I guess. Also, this kind of belongs here now. I feel like I got a little bit more confident in my lines over the past few days or streams, which is days, but I don't know why I made that distinction. Like a distinction without difference. Like if I stream every day yesterday, wouldn't be anything other than just the stream, right? Because I don't draw outside the streams much anymore. Occasionally I do, but I really want to put this like forth, this attempt, and kind of try and show you that you can do it too. If someone like I can do it, and I mean that in the worst way possible you can imagine. If someone like I can learn to draw, you can learn to draw. Honestly, like, why aren't you drawing? You want to do it? Just do it. Stop talking about it. Do it. Do it, you coward. You know, go out there, conquer the world. I kind of feel like that's the one sentence the young men of modern day aren't told, because it's like, I don't know, offensive or something. I don't really care. But yeah, I do want to encourage women, which is fine by all means. Like, encourage them. People need to be encouraged. But why are you trying to pit the people against each other when you could just encourage them all equally? You know, like, if you're truly the virtuous person you claim to be, why make the distinction? And then they will say something like, "Oh, well, they need the spotlight." Well, okay, that's that's awfully nice of you. So you'll sacrifice everyone else's spotlight and put them down because you can't just say, "I wish for all of you the best," because you can't just be normal and tell everyone, you know, that you wish for them the best. Why is that not possible? Why exactly? It's such a bad excuse, and that's unfortunately just how the modern world is, I guess. But fuck, sorry, I forgot. I'm technically under license. I have to find a different piece of music, honestly, just for that to not be a limiting factor anymore. But perhaps it's helping actually, because I don't want to drift too far away from the drawing aspect here. Sometimes that happens, but you know, I want to stick to the facts in a sense. And right now, I'm merely drawing, not some sort of guru or like, you know, God's like mightiest warrior or anything. I'm just a normal, regular dude, everyday motherfucker. Sorry. Kind of unhinged today. I don't actually want to, you know, swear too much because I've done that plenty when I played League of Legends. So I don't, I kind of want to like pull it back a bit, just a little bit, just enough to where I hold conversations with my friends, without like cursing every 5 seconds, which is fun in its own way. I guess it's kind of freeing, right? If you have been around on the internet a while, you will know what I mean. But also, I think what you do very much defines you. Like, there's a reason why the the saying goes, "Show me your friend, and I'll show you who you are," right? Which is essentially that. How do you act around the people you trust most? You know? So then, by extension, well, how what would the person look like to accept you being that specific way. Therefore, philosophy, I don't know, something that sounds smart. Let's do a paper, and yeah, that's it. Sorry. Ah! Uh, man, ouch. Why is it taking me so long to just draw this? It's insanity, man. Today is not a good day for drawing, I guess, huh? Today is not a good day. I'll try the Mentos, okay? So, I'll be muting myself a little bit. I'm still here, but I'll eat the Mentos and see if that helps a bit. Hmm. So I do have to say, it kind of worked. Eating the Mentos. Um, Still can't draw shoes. I don't know why this is so difficult for me. Maybe because I'm not outlining it properly. I don't know. Is it the curves? Is it the curve? I don't know. I don't know. These shoes just look weird and I can't draw them. Hmm. This is looking so off. It's so wrong on so many levels. Like the head is too big, the shoulders are too far apart, like the center line doesn't work. There's so much going on that's just wrong. I can't. This is insanity. True insanity. But let's try and do some fixing here, I guess you could say. This is already a lot better. Not perfect, but good enough to represent what it is that you're supposed to be seeing. Although there could be a few less lines. A few less lines? I think that's right. Trying to represent like the suit and the vest he's wearing underneath, or whatever you call that. You know, maybe I should learn some like clothing and anatomical, like, how should I say, the names of some reference points, so I can more easily get ideas across. Like saying the distance, um, or rather, when I'm drawing a forearm, right? You want to keep in mind you add the the I don't know, bulge, or the bend is the wrong word, I think. The big form, which is essentially the, what's it called, brachioradialis. Brachioradialis, I don't know. Radio, brachio, I don't know. Brachioradialis, I don't quite remember. Right, if I want to describe certain landmarks, you might try and be conscious of, and I just don't know the names of them. It's kind of like, it's not only a crutch to you because you don't understand what I'm trying to say. It's also to me because I can't order my thoughts properly. So, as much as I would like to keep going, guys, I think I have to cut it short here. Like, I don't want to pat myself on the back, honestly, so I'm not going to say it, but still. We are here, we were drawing. I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned something, if nothing. But and even on bad days, don't look for the excuse. Remember, you cannot find your true self. You can only create it. And while that is true to some extent, of course, it's true enough to use as a guideline. And yeah, I'll probably in the next few days try and do some anatomical studies. We'll see how well they turn out because I have no idea how to do them and like actually learn something from them. But at the very least, we'll learn some names, some bone names, probably some muscle names, some perhaps like clothing or fashion. Um, what's it called? Um, I don't know the English term for this. Oh, fashion terms, right? Like some general terms for fashion, so I can describe clothing better. That kind of deal. We'll see how I'll structure it. Not too sure yet. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, again, sorry about the very short stream. Barely 2 hours. Oh well, it happens, I guess. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Stand firm in your beliefs, guys. But also remember this: you can only have feuds and disagreements with people while they and you are still alive. So try and exercise some moderation whenever you do decide to stand your ground. But of course, that's a balancing act because sometimes that goodwill, that I just described, some people know perfectly well to exploit. And always remember, memento mori. You too must die. So try and figure out to do how to do the things you want to do, that you could be proud and thankful for having done when it all inevitably comes crashing down, right? Which it will, but there's better ways, there's ideal ways of doing it, and not so ideal ways. So keep those close you wish. Treasure them as they are, or perhaps help them grow to who they could become. But do not be their slave. Anyway, that's oddly like personal. I don't know why I came up with that. Anyway, kind of flowed out of my mind. Um, take care of yourselves. Have fun in what you're doing. Recognize that you have to experience the bad times to treasure the good times. I feel like I'm not some. Why am I talking like I'm some sort of philosophical, the philosopher's stone like people, right? I'm not. I'm not philosopher's stone. A pebble at best. Anyway, sorry for the yapping. Anyway, I'll probably see you next time. Have a very nice rest of your day.